I started a discussion on my Facebook page a few weeks ago that exploded into controversy. I'm no stranger to controversy, given that I'm well-known, opinionated, and outspoken. That usually draws fire from those who disagree, which I'm completely okay with. But I was surprised by the intensity of the discussion. One person even demanded that I retract my statements, and another challenged my educational credentials, which I'm also okay with. I don't mind. It goes with the territory when you're opinionated. But what surprised me was the topic that started this controversy: essential oils. Now, I know there are plenty of myths and misinformation about essential oils, but I underestimated the passion of those who defend some of these myths. Don't get me wrong. I love essential oils. I was a very early adopter of the use of essential oils in products that I've developed for use in salons and spas, as well as for retail use products. I'm fascinated by their composition, properties, and great potential. But until recently, I was not fully aware that so many have begun to ingest these oils for their so-called therapeutic benefits. Scanning the internet, I was a bit surprised to find so many were promoting the ingestion of essential oils, usually to cure a medical ailment or as a preventative of a disease or a disorder. Even more bothersome was that many people were being encouraged and assisted with self-diagnosis of their own medical conditions and encouraged to treat their disorders by ingesting essential oils. As a scientist in the cosmetic, beauty, and personal care industry, I'm really concerned about the lack of proper safety information and precautions when it comes to ingesting essential oils. Why? First, let's be clear. Aromatherapy oils are cosmetics and are not food, so they should never be intentionally ingested. Now, even those who claim to be properly trained admit the practice of ingesting essential oils can be potentially dangerous without the proper training. But you wouldn't know that by reading what's posted on the internet by those who are promoting essential oils and suggesting improvements or cures for many conditions, ailments, and disorders. Even those who are trained and only use the therapeutic grade essential oils, claiming to be safe for internal use, they'll tell you that essential oils not labeled as therapeutic may be unsafe to ingest. So it seems to me that just about everyone is expressing some type of concern about the safety of this practice, including me. Here are the problems and future challenges as I see them. There is no generally recognized non-manufacturing body or group that certifies essential oils as therapeutic grade. Now, that's not to say that there's no such thing as therapeutic grade. There clearly is, but it's not what it may appear to be. Some seem to mistake this as a regulatory quality standard, and it's not. My concern is that many assume that therapeutic grade infers that it's medical grade or even government approved, and neither is correct to believe. As far as I can tell, these therapeutic standards are derived by the companies selling the essential oils. That's a step in the right direction. But in order to ensure these standards are insulated sufficiently from undue marketing and sales influence, independent standards should be developed. Excuse me. And those standards should be fact-based and relied on valid scientific methods. Now, I hope this doesn't surprise too many people when I say that it's a myth that essential oils are chemical-free. Make no mistake about this. All essential oils are 100% chemical. But so are vitamin supplements, and so is a baby's breath. That's no surprise if you know what a chemical is. A chemical is everything you can see or touch, except for light and electricity. So just about everything is a chemical. An essential oil commonly contains a great number of different chemical components. By some estimates, at least 3,000 different unique chemical substances have been identified as components of essential oils. However, typical essential oils contain a few main chemical substances in high percentage that account for the fragrance and viscosity or the thickness of that particular oil. The color of essential oils are often caused by darkly colored dissolved substances that occur in much lower concentrations within the oil. For many reasons, the ratio of these components can vary widely, which means the chemical makeup of essential oils can also vary greatly. Essential oils' final composition depends on the type of plant, as well as the part of the plant used, the location where it was grown, the season it was harvested, the age of the plant when it was harvested, the local environmental conditions, as well as how the essential oil is removed from the plant, processed, and stored. Unfortunately, essential oils are sometimes adulterated with other low-costing essential oils, which is often unnoticeable without laboratory testing. So you can see why the chemical composition of an essential oil can vary widely and how it depends on many different factors. This should help to explain why it's so important to trace essential oils from their source and do laboratory testing to confirm the safety and confirm the chemical composition as well as the safety of these oils. But these aren't my main concerns. My biggest concern is that some are known to be toxic by ingestion, yet people drink them, sometimes aware of the potential for harm. Some essential oils are very irritating and known to cause allergic reactions with prolonged and/or repeated exposure. This is one reason why essential oils need to be greatly diluted before they're applied to the skin, or overexposure of the skin becomes a very real possibility. Even a drop or two in your water each day can be a problem, so don't kid yourself. Experts on both sides of the discussion agree that ingesting essential oils does affect the bacterial lining in your digestive tract. No one quite understands how, but for many, or to what degree I should say, but there are many who are concerned that the excessive exposure can lead to gastrointestinal and digestive disorders or issues. In my opinion, too many are focused on the supposed benefits of ingesting essential oils, and they're ignoring the potential problems. These cannot be forgotten. For example, some essential oils have strong antibacterial properties. What's the downside of ingesting these? Well, that could kill off large amounts of bacteria that normally reside inside the stomach and line the intestine. Even though there are several pounds of bacteria lining these areas, ingesting essential oils can throw off the normal balance and cause internal health problems. Some think they're dismissing this argument by claiming essential oils only kill harmful bacteria and not the beneficial ones. Really? They can tell? Interestingly, there doesn't appear to be any scientific support for this claim. In my view, this is just wishful thinking based on speculation. But even then, I don't see how that argument helps their case at all. In fact, it's more of a reason for concern. Isn't that the definition of an antibiotic? If this is true, some essential oils kill harmful bacteria and some essential oils kill harmful bacteria in the gut. This would mean that some essential oils act like antibiotics when ingested. Therefore, long-term ingestion should certainly be of concern for that reason alone. Before essential oils are ingested, there needs to be much more research into this area. It's important to note that the Alliance of International Aromatherapists has this to say on the matter. The AIA, which is the Alliance, does not endorse internal therapeutic use of essential oils unless recommended by a healthcare practitioner trained at the appropriate clinical level. Close quote. As far as other uses, I don't recommend. I certainly don't recommend that you apply undiluted, pure essential oils to the skin. I recommend only using essential oils that are diluted in a carrier oil or some other solvent. Essential oils can cause adverse skin reactions, which is why they should be greatly diluted. Now, I've heard two main myths about this. The first one is this. It's erroneously said that essential oils contain no proteins, so therefore they must not be the cause of skin allergies. False. There are many well-documented medical cases of allergic skin reactions to essential oils. Also, nickel is a common allergy-causing substance, and nickel contains no proteins. This myth is just plain false. The second myth is that rashing or burning of the skin when essential oils are applied is just your body detoxifying. False again. These symptoms are typical of skin irritation and/or allergic reactions and are not a result of some imagined detoxification process. This is a silly attempt to come up with a positive explanation for any adverse reaction that could be caused by a natural product. But in my way of thinking, this is just a way of avoiding the facts and the truth. It's important to understand that skin allergies are our body's natural reaction to natural substances. That's how our bodies work. These reactions are a skin protection mechanism that is triggered by exposure to natural substances. Now, this is really important to understand about your body. Our skin develops allergic reactions as a protection from natural substances that could injure or damage it if there were prolonged or repeated contact. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, discusses this potential problem on their website, and they've given several examples, and here's one. Quote, allergic reactions have been reported with tea tree oil when taken by mouth or used on the skin. Skin reactions ranging from mild contact dermatitis, skin inflammation, to severe blistering rashes. Tea tree oil may cause bad breath, bad taste, depressed behavior, diarrhea, drowsiness, ear damage, fatigue, inflammation of the mouth, muscle tremors, nausea, and skin irritation, which is defined as burning, drying, eczema, fluid buildup, itching, rash, redness, scaling, warmth, and toxicity in human cells. Or it can cause a slow, unsteady movements, stomach pain, uncommon blood changes, and weakness. Use cautiously in pregnancy and breastfeeding women who are undergoing childbirth, or those who are undergoing childbirth, it says, due to reports that tea tree oil decreases contraction strength. Use cautiously when applied to skin or when used as an eyelid scrub. End quote. Most chemicals have both a safe and unsafe level of exposure. That's also true of essential oils. This is a fact. Many essential oils are likely to cause adverse skin reactions when used in an undiluted form, for instance, 100% pure. You should understand that the more pure the essential oil, the greater the risk, because this means the concentration of the ingredients in the essential oil are too high for safe skin exposure, so overexposure to the skin occurs more easily. In general, overexposure is what causes adverse skin reactions, not just exposure. Pure undiluted essential oils should not be applied to the skin, so we can prevent this overexposure. Now, after my Facebook discussion, someone who I will simply refer to as a true believer in ingesting essential oils was nice enough to call me to share her views on this subject. She explained that essential oils are natural and therefore safe. Also, if essential oil is 100% pure, it will be toxin-free. She felt this was important because only pure and natural substances can remove synthetic toxins from the body. Well, she was surprised when I told her that just about everything she believed about these oils was not correct. And I'll repeat my explanation to her. Many are confused and use words like toxin or natural incorrectly, largely because they only listen to the marketing of these words and they don't understand what these words truly mean. Why should you know their proper meaning? Well, it becomes much easier to spot misinformation or deception if you understand what these words really mean. For instance, a toxin is a poisonous substance that's produced by a living organism. For instance, bee sting toxin or snake venom. What's this mean? It means that all toxins are natural. If it's not natural, it's not a toxin. Yes, some synthetic materials may be toxic if overexposure occurs. That's different and not what I mean. They are not considered toxins, but instead are called synthetic toxicants. Well, what's my point? The word toxin only applies to naturally derived substances that can be poisonous to people. There are a lot of toxins, and the list is really long. This should serve to remind us of the truth about nature. Natural does not mean automatically safe, as some suggest. Nature is a dangerous place filled with many types of naturally occurring poisons or toxins or other health hazards. Nature is not the la-la land we like to imagine it is. Why do we do this? Probably because we don't actually have to live in nature anymore, and many don't visit there very often. So most tend to forget the many risks and dangers that nature presents. I'll close by saying that, as always, I'll remain open-minded on the subject, and if new information develops, I will consider it. But for now, I am in agreement with something the Alliance of International Aromatherapists said. I do not endorse internal therapeutic use of essential oils unless recommended by a medical doctor or other healthcare practitioner trained at the appropriate clinical level, and only then with careful and cautious use. And if I may give some closing advice, clinical level training is very comprehensive and not something that could be accomplished in a few days' course, so don't be fooled. Your goal should not be to hurry or rush through your training. Training experiences often become work habits, so invest wisely in the best training you can find and be a lifelong learner.